Want some more? Want the whole thing? So I made bread. Bread baking was a pretty big part of my life for a pretty long time, but I haven't done it regularly in quite a while. But I think being at home in this quarantine has kind of somehow sparked the desire in me to start baking again. So I made that bread from a recipe from Bread by Jeffrey Hamelman, which is one of the two, in my opinion, essential bread books. If you're interested in baking bread, that one has everything, like kind of, you know, like European style, like chewy kind of bread, like baguettes and French bread, Italian bread, stuff like that. And then it also has a huge sourdough section, which is fantastic. And it has a lot of variations on recipes like that. So I think for that kind of bread, that book is like the best. And then the other book that I think is essential is Peter Reinhardt's Whole Grain Breads, which is this one. So this is the bread for whole grain baking, and he also, for every whole grain recipe, he has like a transitional recipe, so it's like half whole grain, half white flour. But he's got his own whole like method and technique for using whole grains in baking, and those two books, in my opinion, are like it for bread baking books. But anyway, I'm really happy that I made that bread. We're having pasta for dinner tonight, so I'm stoked. It didn't come out as great as it used to come out for me, but you know, you gotta kind of ease back into things. I also made some pizza dough, so that's in the refrigerator, and we're gonna have pizza the night after tomorrow. It sits in the fridge for a couple days to get really good. And okay, so I realized when I went back yesterday and edited the video that I have already posted the vlog, that I just started talking about kind of recommendations without telling you that I had decided to kind of recommend things to you if you're quarantined that you might want to watch or read or listen to or whatever. So that's what that was about. And I also mentioned that today I was going to talk a little bit about possibly books, music, movies, or something like that. And I had an idea of what I was going to talk about right now, and I forgot. Let me think. What was it that I was going to talk about? Oh, books. Okay. So right now, I am still reading Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers, who I found out fairly recently is local to me. I had no idea. That is pretty cool. She did an interview for a local radio station about her writing and how it has to do with, I think, like environmentalism. But I haven't listened to it yet. I really want to, but I haven't yet. Maybe I'll link that in the description box below if you're interested. But I've been meaning to listen to it, and also maybe like message her and say like, hey, I've been reading all your books and I really like them, and we live close. I don't know exactly where she lives, but apparently she's local to me. Becky Chambers, if you haven't heard me talk about her before, is the author of that book that I'm reading right now, and then the previous two books in that trilogy, which are, I can't remember, oh, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and that's Peter Reinhardt. I can't remember what the second book is called, but the second one was my favorite. Anyway. So I'm still reading the third book, and I am really enjoying it. At first, I was not enjoying it as much as the second, like at all. It tells the story of like different people, and at first I was just like not following like who was who. And I'm good now though, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's kind of, the first two books told the story of like other alien species, mostly were like the focus of those stories, and androids, and then this one focuses on humans in the space, in the world of the books. Oh, thanks. Lucy's done with her bread end. So I can recommend that trilogy if you're interested in some kind of lighthearted, but also socially conscious, if you want to call it that, spacey science fiction. I thought I would recommend my very favorite book series of all time. If you're interested in something a little, yeah, that's flour on my pants because I didn't wear an apron because, yeah. If right now is the time for you to maybe be in the mood to read some dystopian speculative fiction, Margaret Atwood is your author. She is a really amazing speculative fiction author. She coined that term because she didn't like being called science fiction. And her books are so good. And she has this one trilogy that I know I've talked about before, but it's my favorite trilogy of all time. It's amazingly good. It's called the Maddaddam trilogy. I'll link to it down below. The first book in the series is called Oryx and Crake. And I'm not even gonna like try to describe its plot. It's so good and so sprawling, but pretty much it's a dystopian future. It's a future that looks like an imagining of what our actual current world might look like if things go really bad. And it follows the story of a couple specific people. It follows the story of humanity and how it falls and rebuilds. You want some more bread? You don't. You want the whole loaf? Oh my god. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, it's long, you know, it's 3 books, but it's so good. It's really good. Also, if you're in the mood for something a little, also kind of dystopian, if you're looking for something a little easier to get through, there's a couple of graphic novels that I really like that are also kind of dystopian, kind of science fiction, fantasy. First one is Saga. It takes place in a world that is not like our own. It's in space. It's really great. It's a graphic novel. It's a comic book, actually. It's not a graphic novel. It's a comic book. It comes out periodically, and it's been coming out for a long time. And then also, The Wicked and the Divine is a really great comic book, and that one is more fantasy, and it's about teenage pop stars. Well, okay. It's about a pantheon of gods, of, like, I think they're all, like, kind of, no, there's a, okay, so it takes the gods of a lot of different ancient mythologies and stuff, and those gods come back, like, every certain amount of time, every, I don't know, like 30 years or something, or 15 years or something like that. They come back as teenage pop stars. And it's really good. I like it. I haven't read that one in a long time, but it might be fun reading right now if you're interested in that kind of thing. Okay, music. I'm kind of not into anything that new in terms of since the last time we talked about music, but I have just still been listening to a lot of The Regrets, which is a band that I love so deeply. As time goes on, my love for them gets deeper and deeper. They have 2 full-length albums. The first is called Feel Your Feelings Fool, and the more recent one is called How Do You Love. And they're just great albums. It's rock and roll, and it's good. Also, another current musician that I really, really love, Ezra Furman, has been putting out covers on Instagram every day for like the past week or so, and calling them like quarantine covers or something like that. So those have been really great, and they're just short clips of a song played acoustically, and so far like a few of the songs have been songs and music that I already really love, so it's been really cool to see that. I've really been digging how a lot of musicians right now are coming out with like streaming or Instagram based or whatever, like performances for free for people to watch. I think that's a really, really neat thing that people are doing. I'm sure there's a lot more people out there who are doing stuff like that I can't tell you off the top of my head except for Ezra Furman, but I think it's really neat. Movies, Colin and I just watched. I don't remember what it was called, but it was the Harley Quinn movie. Birds of Prey. We just watched Birds of Prey. I really enjoyed it. And we also fairly recently, like maybe a few weeks ago, watched Point Break. It's a movie I liked from my childhood and hadn't seen it since I was a kid. And man, you guys, it holds up. Seriously, watch Point Break. It's really good. Sorry for the banging. I'm sorry. But watch Point Break. It's really good still. Okay, I had to try to go somewhere that was a little less clanky because I realized even though I tune it out and I like don't even hear it, when I was editing my vlog yesterday, you can hear all of Lucy's plastic toys like clink, 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 clinking. And I apologize for that. I know that can be super annoying. And so I just noticed that she's been playing with some toys for the past minute or so. And so I tried to sneak away. And hopefully you can't hear it now, but I think she found me. But anyway, I think that might be it. We have been spending a lot of time outside these past couple days. It's been really nice in terms of like the weather. So that's been kind of great since Lucy's been a little cooped up and like not going to the things that she normally goes to, which I can't even say right now because she'll get all excited. It's been really nice to be able to go in the backyard because she's been really enjoying that, and so have we. I did also purchase a couple of patterns off Ravelry earlier today while Lucy was napping. Lucy, do you want your stuffed animals? Do you want your llama? No. You want your bear? All right. Do you want to go in your bed with all your other stuffed animals? Okay, come on. Let's do it. Do you want your big bunny? Woo! Wow! And I've gathered the yarn for all of them, put them in project bags, and I'm gonna show you what they are right now. So I haven't actually started anything yet, but I bought the pattern for the Weekender, and I picked out my yarn. And pretty much what I did is I went through my stash, my fingering weight stash, and I picked out 4 skeins that I'm going to put together. So I'm going to hold fingering weight double and just kind of, I don't know exactly how I'm going to color manage, but these are the yarns. Hold on. So I think it's going to be really awesome. And actually all of these yarns have been given to me by people, which is so cool. And I'm really excited that they're all going to be in a sweater together. So the first one is Beehive Yarns. And it's called Desert Trail. And it's these beautiful like turquoises and orangey rusty browns. And the next one is Woolberry Fiber Co. And this one is like peaches and lavenders. And the next one is Toil and Trouble. And oh, Woolberry was, the colorway is Reflection. This one, the colorway is Stars Open Among the Lilies. And so this one is like plums and greens and teals. And then the last one is Sweet Sparrow Yarns Wrapped Up in Books. And this one is like dusty pinks and peaches and teals. And this one's on a Stellina base. So I feel like it's going to be really neat to kind of alternate them, because what I'm seeing here is like these two are like kind of peachy pinky purples. These two are kind of greeny tealy bluey things, and they all kind of have like similar colors that run throughout them. And they're all, oh my goodness, they're all kind of speckly with like kind of a natural creamy background color. So I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited. And then I also bought that crochet sweater pattern, and this is the yarn. So this is the Brooklyn Tweed. It is Shelter. It's the Long Johns colorway, and the label that you're seeing here is from my local yarn shop. One of my local yarn shops is called Yarn, and they have an exchange program where you can pretty much trade in your destash yarn, get credit, and then purchase other people's destash yarn. So that's how I got this. And I think they do it online as well. Like, I think you can sign up for it for like a mail-in package, and you can mail them your destash yarn, get credit, and then purchase from their yarn exchange program with your credit. So I'll link them in the description box below if you are interested in checking that out. It's a really cool program. I got a lot of credit for it initially, and most of my credit went towards this. I got 7 skeins of this, so I'm pretty stoked. All right, well, I think I might leave you there. I know there's banging in the background. I just heard it. I'm so sorry. But I might just leave you there for now. And I'm not sure if I'll do any more of these vlogs right now. We'll see. I may or I may not if I feel inclined to record anything. Hope you're doing well and hanging in there. And if you want to message me for any reason, to say hi or whatever, please feel free to do that. All my contact information is below. Leave a comment to tell me how you're doing, what you're working on, how you are getting through, if you are in a quarantining situation, how you're dealing, what you're working on, how you're getting through it, and I'll see you later, whether that be another vlog or another regular podcast episode. So, okay, bye. Are you having a tea party? Are you having a tea party? All right. Is that your big elephant? Ooh. Can I have some tea? Thank you, Lucy. Ooh, yum yum. Okay, I'm done now. Here you go. There's your cup back.